As I've listened to the stories of thousands of women of all ages, in all kinds of stages, through the years, I've kept their stories locked in the vault of my heart. I feel as if they've been walking around with me all through these years. They've bothered me, they've prodded me, and sometimes kept me up at night. Ultimately, they've increased my passion to reframe and reimagine the powerful positions of mother and matriarch within the family system. I'm a problem solver, so I set out to find a way to perhaps change the trajectory of this silent and sad scenario about a dynamic yet untapped source of potential and purpose sitting in our homes and churches. It is time to come to the table, Heartlifters, and unleash the power of maternal presence into the world. Welcome to Mothering for the Ages, our 2025 theme here on today's Heartlift. I'm Janelle. I am your guide here on this heartlifting journey. I invite you to grab a pen, a journal, and a cup of something really delicious. May today's conversation give you clarity, courage, and a revived sense of camaraderie. You see, you're not on this journey alone. We are unified as Heartlifters and committed to bringing change into the world, one heart at a time. Heartlifters, welcome to the show, Allie Marie Smith. Allie is an award-winning author, speaker, podcast host, and life coach. She's also the founder and CEO of Wonderfully Made, a national nonprofit organization dedicated to helping girls and women like you and me know their God-given value and identity, experience vibrant mental health, and lead flourishing lives. Allie lives in Santa Barbara County, California, where she loves riding, playing with horses, surfing, and adventuring up and down the California coast. Oh, Allie. You can visit Allie at Allie, A-L-L-I-E, Marie, M-A-R-I-E, Smith.com. Today, Allie comes to us to talk about her new book, Social Media Reset. A 30-day guided journey to unplug, reconnect with God, and reclaim your joy. We know here in this community that the mental health crisis is undeniable. 1 in 3 teen girls today are contemplating suicide, and over one-third of women report having been diagnosed with depression. Allie is going to help us ask ourselves, where's the path forward, right? How do we move forward? Because we all long for lives full of deep connection with God, ourselves, and others. And yet, we are now programmed to seek peace, contentment, and happiness in our phones. Deep down, we know this isn't how we were created to live. As endless scrolling leaves us feeling anxious, depressed, distracted, and alone, we realize our deepest needs cannot be met by turning to social media. One of the beautiful questions that Allie asked right in the beginning is, what are you seeking inside of social media? I think that's a really good question before we begin. So give that a few moments of thought, and then help me welcome Allie to the show. Oh, Heartlifters, are you ready? Are you ready to hear from this vivacious young woman that I have just told you all about, Allie Marie Smith? Welcome, Allie. We're all welcoming you here today.
Oh, thank you, Janelle. I'm so excited to be here. And I just appreciate what you do so much. And I love that you are the heart whisperer.
I try.
I just have such a passion for women. So thank you for having me.
Well, you are doing great work and admirable work, meaningful work. And I am so grateful for that. I have a million questions, as usual, for me. As my heart lifters know, I want to learn everything, but we only have this small amount of time in this format, which, is good and bad because you can get saturated. But I want to introduce my community to your nonprofit, Wonderfully Made. I see the book back there. We've already chit-chatted about the kintsugi on the front. What year did that come out?
2021,
Ooh, okay. All
my
righty.
my
Well,
COVID project. So,
yes, I had one. I had two, actually. Yes. So I will put all the links to that first book because it's probably a good primer. It probably gives us a lot of information. And because we do want to focus on your new book coming out this summer, Social Media Reset, a 30-day guide. So I was already swallowing the challenge. Difficult, very difficult. So before we get into that, tell us about Wonderfully Made, this national nonprofit organization that you started when you were how old?
20.
What?
20. So now you know how old I am, 21 years ago.
Okay. Who starts a nonprofit at 20? Allie Marie Smith did. And what called you to do that? What was that
Yeah,
yearning?
well, first I'll say that a little bit more about who we are.
Hmm.
We are a 501c3 ministry, and our mission is to help girls and women know their God-given value, identity, and purpose, experience vibrant mental health, and lead flourishing lives. And so we have a podcast. We do young women's events for young women and the women who love them. I have
Oh.
a course for teen girls and young women and all the hot button issues. We have mental health workshops and we do coaching. So that's a little bit who we are. To
Hmm.
answer your question, it was birthed out of my own very difficult story. I won't dive into it too much. I share more about it in my first big girl book, Wonderfully Made.
Okay.
Good home, bright future. Around the
Mm.
age of 12, started to experience a lot of unworthiness, sadness, depression. Didn't really make sense. That just made it worse. Escalated throughout
Yeah.
high school. On the outside, looked like I was a girl who had things together, straight A student,
Yeah.
captain of the soccer team, scholar
Wow.
athlete.
Mm.
And I was fighting a battle every single day. It was so hard.
That's so
Junior
hard.
year, something traumatic happened to me when I was 17. Never told anyone for over 10 years.
Mm.
Starting my junior year, I remember driving off the off ramp and just thinking, what if I just crashed my car? And 2 weeks after I graduated, I was in the deepest, darkest depression. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't talk. I was hospitalized,
Mm.
put on antidepressants, sent home 3 days later. You tell how broken
Mm.
our mental health system is.
Yes.
It continued to get bad that summer of my after graduation, 18, to the point that one day I drove to the Golden Gate Bridge with intention to end my life by jumping off. Um, I
Mm.
tell the miraculous rescue story in Wonderfully Made.
Okay. Okay. Must
Um,
get that, everybody. It's interesting because I've stood on that bridge. I took our children, well, I was 40, so that was 25 years ago. But at the very top of that bridge is a phone,
mhm,
an emergency phone.
mhm.
And I just remember all of us like just standing there going, oh, okay. So now you're making it real as you drove there. Okay.
And I actually remember seeing that sign when I was
Hmm.
maybe 11 and being like, what? I don't understand
Yeah.
it.
Who would do that? Hmm.
And so later that fall, I tried to start college. On the East Coast, we about 3,000 miles away, came
Ooh,
undone, re-hospitalized for 3 weeks. But the most beautiful thing is that where I encountered the radical love of Jesus in a
did you?
supernatural way. I asked for a Bible. Pouring over the Gospels, I discovered that Jesus loved the broken. And I was as broken as a girl could be. One day in the hospital chapel, the help I
Oh,
was starting to receive help, and I've been very responsive to medication. It's very much a physiological experience, but
uh-huh.
many complex factors as well.
Hmm.
And the desire to no longer live was beginning to fade. And a woman sang
Wow.
Amazing Grace. in that hospital chapel.
Oh, I've got chills.
And through a whispered prayer, Janelle, I gave my life to Jesus, and I've never been the same. He has radically changed my life. Have had mental health struggles after that, even in my 30s, but
Hmm.
that changed everything. And I just became so passionate about helping every girl and woman know how deeply loved she is, to know the radical love of Jesus that can transform us. So
Yeah.
that birth wonderfully made. A year later, I started reading the Bible, came across Psalm 139, that verse.
Hmm.
Praise you because I am fearfully, meaning lovingly and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
So that led me to start it on a college campus. We've evolved.
Wow. Where were you? Can I ask where you were?
I started school at Pepperdine. I
Oh,
experienced
wow.
depression again,
Mm-hmm.
had to withdraw, transfer home,
Hmm.
and after another actual suicide attempt in college. And
Hmm.
so I actually started it before my second depressive episode.
Okay.
And yeah, so started in college, we started doing events. Really, it was mostly me leading it. And we've really been
Wow.
able to grow and led, conferences for 10,000 girls and women. We're
Wow.
really the only, as far as we found, ministry of our kind. We
Hmm.
especially have a heart for teen girls and young women at the topics of mental health. So
Yes.
it's been such a journey, honestly. It feels right
Hmm.
now that God is really sending us out. I
Hmm.
have
It's
a team.
time.
I've never had a team before. We have
Wow.
so much momentum. We are on a mission. It
Oh.
is so exciting. So
How
it's
did
just,
you gather your team? I mean, obviously we know God brought them, but
yes.
to not have had a team, and now all of a
Mhm.
sudden, because we talk so much here in this community about Chronos time and Kairos time, and how God works through both. But
Mm.
all of a sudden, it's Kairos time. It's go time.
Mm.
It's that
Yeah.
opportune time when God has placed all the pieces in the right place. So all of a sudden, did you just start meeting women or women and men?
Yeah. Well, I would say for about 18 years, I felt like I had to carry it alone.
Mm.
And I never asked for financial support or help from anyone
Wow.
really. So I
Wow.
did everything pretty much single-handedly. Did have a few board members. And then God just provided. We have a few donors who
Hmm.
support us. I was able to hire assistant. I mean, no one's on
Yay.
full salary or
Hmm.
anything. And God just put people in my heart, and they're the right people. And
Yeah.
our team is amazing. So it's just like, it's really like we're just getting started.
Yes. Okay. So you start your book with a very powerful story that I know that I immediately related to, not the surfing part, but to what started going on in your head. Can you just share with us? You're on this surfboard in Santa Barbara. It's so beautiful there.
I know it's such a hard life. We pay
Oh,
taxes, though. We pay for it to live here. You know what
yes,
I
I
mean? So
I do. Yes.
surfing is my joy. My husband and I are avid surfers. I was at my favorite point break near our home,
Wow.
and it was a beautiful day. There were dolphins, there were pelicans, and it was just a gorgeous day. And my mind was wrapped up in a virtual pixelated world that I wasn't even in. And
No.
that was the world of social media. And it was really taking up a lot of headspace. And I remember thinking, oh, I should just stop social media altogether. But I want to keep in touch with friends. I really need to grow my following and become a lot more popular if I ever want to write a book. And why didn't they invite me to the rodeo? I really want to buy that pair of boots. Why doesn't she follow me back? And here I
Hmm.
am in this perfect
Pristine.
Instagrammable moment,
Mm.
right? Like, oh, you just flash that over Instagram, right? But I was obsessing about Instagram,
Mhm.
and it
And
was
you
just
make it
ridiculous.
comes through the book. It's so palatable. We've all been, I think if we're all very, very honest, we are all there. Okay. So what did you do with that whirlwind? Tell us where that took you.
Yeah. So, I got Facebook when it came out in college. I got Instagram the same year it came out. I really enjoyed it at first. My How I used that first is I just posted really cool pictures of like flowers, the beach, oceans.
Yes.
Most of them got 0 likes, and I loved it for myself. And then it
Hmm.
changed, they introduced the like button, the comments, and
Hmm.
that changed everything. Like most people, I
Hmm.
fell into and they prey upon human psychology, the
Hmm.
way they created it. It's designed to be addictive. And I fell into full on addiction with it. I would wake up first thing, look at it, check it constantly. If I posted something, I would obsessively go back, refresh how many likes, how many likes, how many comments, looking for validation,
Hmm.
human approval. I would never find it, was never satisfied. I wasn't present. I was always on my phone, spending more time with my phone than maybe my husband, my friends. Was distracted. I couldn't focus. I was increasingly like more depressed, anxious, struggled more with body image issues, more disordered eating.
Hmm.
And, I realized, God, you saved my life. I almost lost my life to depression.
Yes.
And so I think I can get emotional. Like,
It's okay. I don't know
you
how you
rescued
couldn't.
me. You
Hmm.
saved my life. I
Hmm.
say it is an honor to have a heartbeat and to have breath in our
Yeah.
lungs.
Hmm.
And
Me too.
I decided, God, you saved me. I'm going to live my life for you. And I'm going to do everything I can to protect my mental health. So
Mm.
I put in serious boundaries that I still use today, which maybe we can dive in
I
later.
want to know because I've definitely done many, many shows and listened to a million interviews myself. And there's books out there on social media is bad. We know that.
Right.
Got
Hmm.
that covered. But what you're bringing to the conversation is critical because not only with teen girls, but with all of us is the matter of the soul, you know,
Right. Hmm.
and the soul would be our intellect, our emotions. It's our mental and our emotional health. You and I are right in
Hmm.
sync with that passion. So that is what you're doing that is different to me and why I jumped right on like I have to have Allie here because
Hmm.
it is about soul sucking to me. And it is deeply affecting our mental and emotional health, and we don't really know it.
Right. Hmm.
For the most part, we might know it in our head, but it has not made it down to our heart, and most certainly is not sinking into our spirit and our soul. So that's what I really love about the work that you're doing, because you encourage us. I have on my paper here, I wanted you to define soul just just for our listeners here, because we know that it's damaging us. But why is it so damaging to our soul? Why was it so damaging to your soul?
Oh, I can go on
Go on, my friend.
so many reasons.
Hmm.
Before we really
Hmm.
address
Hmm.
the issue of social media, we really need to look at the spiritual
Hmm.
ramification and what is really at stake,
Hmm.
especially in light of eternal things. So,
Yes.
we have to ask ourselves, how do we want to spend our lives? What do we want our legacy to be?
Mm.
And social media is not bad. It's not evil.
Hmm.
It has no morality. It can be used for a tremendous amount of good. It's about how much time you spend on it,
Yeah.
what you look at, and your motivations behind using it. I do have social media. I've wrestled with it. I try to
Yeah.
use it in a good way. But I can still wrestle with it. And so
Hmm.
we have to put this into perspective.
Hmm.
Our lives are so precious. God did not
Oh,
have to create us. He did not have to create us. He loved us into existence. He chose us before the foundations of the world. Our lives are precious, irreplaceable, and we
irreplaceable.
need to know our value. And so
Yeah.
it is a serious issue. And like you're right, we all know, it's probably bad.
Hmm.
It's probably affecting us mentally. But
Hmm.
I've seen there's a lot of talk about it, but no one's really doing
Oh,
anything.
that's why you're here, Allie. That's why I
Mhm.
love this book. I love everything about it. Yes, that's why you're here, because we need to do something different.
Absolutely. And it is time to act.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's put this into perspective. Every second you spend on social media matters because it
Mhm.
impacts you on the mind, body, soul, spirit level. It affects you holistically. Every part of you God created, it affects you profoundly. If we spend 1 hour a day on social media or our phones, that comes out to 3 years. Three
And
years of our
that is the average is 5 hours.
right. Yeah, it gets worse.
Hmm.
2 to 3 hours comes
Hmm.
out to 6 to 8 years of your life on social media or your phone. 4+ hours comes out to 11 or more years of your life, your precious one and only irreplaceable life on social media in a digital abyss, seconds, moments, precious moments of your lives you're never going to get back. And
Oh.
so we have to look at this and say, are we okay with this?
Hmm.
How is it affecting me? Is it
Yeah.
making my life better? Is it making my life worse? Am I better with it? Am I better without it?
Hmm.
And get this, okay? We can now die with more memories of other people's lives than of our own.
You need to say that again.
We can now die with more memories of other people's lives than of our own.
Wow.
And I decided, in addition to letting it affect my mental health and my life, I decided being envious and engrossed of the other people's lives was an insult to the God who gave me mine.
Oh, that's sobering, and that's absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
What is that saying to him?
mhm. And we're going to have to give an account to God. How do we spend our lives?
Mhm.
We are given 672 billion breaths if we live to the ripe old age of 80. And
Mhm.
every single breath is sacred. It is a gift. It is borrowed, and a new one is never promised.
Never. No. No, that
Mhm.
pneuma breath is it's in his hands and he knows. But
Mhm.
like you're saying, we have a tremendous accountability of what we're going to do with that life. I have the privilege of having lived a very long time in my life without it.
Mhm.
And so I know even my children, I didn't raise children with this digital world, although my grandchildren are going to be raised in it. But I think I know the amount of time I spent with God, and I spent studying and writing Bible studies after Bible studies,
Mhm.
essays after essays. You know, I don't have that anymore. And I know that I know it's not my age. I know that I know my incapacity to focus is due to my phone in my hand and all the gadgets.
Mhm.
So, as much as I know that in my head, Allie, which is why I wanted you to challenge us, don't pull any, pull the, go ahead. Because I have felt the spirit saying, put it down, burn the ships. I've heard that saying, burn the ships, Janelle, just burn them. Give me your full attention. You're not of this kingdom. You're of my kingdom. For the last, let's say a year to 2 years, primarily. Well, Lord, if I do that, I mean, I already don't have big numbers. I'm not going to get a book published. Well, oh well. Why don't you try me? So, is that what you're speaking to? You're speaking to us to take, well, as you say it, an audit of our life. I really love the way you posture that in the very beginning. It's very clear, it's very simple, but take an audit of my life. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. We have to be aware. What is working in my life? What is not working? I always talk about our life as a garden. What are the weeds that are sucking the life out of you? What's blooming? And today, I think for a lot of people, social media is a serious weed that is sucking the joy, the potential, the life, the beauty out of their lives.
For
And we
sure.
have agency. We have personal agency. And I always say, we don't have to conform to the social media circus. We can choose not to have it in our lives. We can choose to have serious boundaries with it. Only we can decide how we are going to let it affect us. An extended social media break, whether it's just for 30 days, which my book guides girls and women through a 30-day experience.
Yeah.
And it's actually more of a life coaching
Mm-hmm.
experience. It's not even just it's like get your life back and build a life you love. And here are 30 principles for flourishing, amazing life
Yeah.
that God offers you.
It's so
Um,
clear. It's so
and
clear. Yes.
yeah, so minimum, I think every single girl and woman should have at least a month off a year, if not more,
Okay.
to fast from it. That's absolutely important. And so we have agency, right? We don't have to spend
Mm-mm.
our lives, the majority of our lives, affected by anxiety, depression, poor body image that is induced by social media.
Mm-hmm.
We get to
Comparison,
decide
comparison. Yeah, for sure.
how it's going to affect us. No
Mm-hmm.
one else can decide that for us, right? And
No.
I know I feel like I'm kind of like a preacher and I hope I
No,
just
we need your words though. That's the
right.
thing. It's a wake-up call.
It is.
It's a wake-up call. It's an unction, as Paul would
Mhm.
say. I urge you,
Mhm.
right in the very beginning of the book, is it time for a reset? I mean, I was like, I just want to, as I would say in my own work as a coach and a counselor, the counterintuitive movement is typically the work that you need to do. Like if it feels so counterintuitive and feels so out of the comfort zone and you feel anxiety because God's invitation is not something that seems nice, like, oh, I want you to fast for 30 days from social media, Janelle, it's probably the exact work I need to do. Can I
Mhm.
be that obedient? Can I? Maybe
Mhm.
I'm asking myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're asking us. So I want you to preach to me. I want you to
Mhm.
hold me
Mhm.
accountable. Your
Mhm.
voice is necessary. Allie, you've lived through hell and have come back. You have lived through the darkest night of the soul that anyone can live through, and you're back. You're here. So thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you for mm, persevering, for God's mercy on your life. So use it.
Mhm.
You say it's so dang easy here. Grab your phone, go to its settings, locate where you can check your screen time and app usage. Write down your average daily phone usage. Oh, God. Write down the highest number of phone pickups or unlocks you have had. Then you say, look at your app usage and website activity. Left side of the chart, social media. Right side of the chart, time spent.
Multiply it by 30 days. That's how much of your life you'll get back for 30 days as you go through the book. Mhm.
So, okay. So you're telling me I can do it.
Yeah. My challenge to every girl, woman who goes through it is think of all the girls and women in your life, every single one who you are connected to, who you have personal relationships with. You invite them and say, hey, let's disconnect together. Let's connect with God. Let's go have a meal together every single week and not even bring our phones.
Yeah.
Let's get together for coffee dates. Let's go on hikes. Let's cultivate true community and
Mhm.
do this experiment to see how amazing life could be. Because social media is a world we weren't designed to live in, right? We were not
No.
designed to swipe a pixelated screen on holding our hands, looking at strangers, friends, influencers, celebrities' lives unfold as our own lives go neglected. We think about our fingers, we think about our hands. We
Yeah.
have a fingerprint unlike no one in the world. What did God create our fingers and our hands to do?
Hmm.
He created them to break bread, to create meals for people around the
Hmm.
table, to plant flowers
Yeah.
in the dirt, to
Work the
comb
earth.
your fingers through a child's hair, to collect seashells, right? To
My
hold
favorite.
the hands of the people you love, to actually thumb through the pages of an actual book.
Hmm.
This is the life we were created for. We are so far removed from the
Yeah.
life God created for, it is making us sad,
Sick.
sick, and self-absorbed. I'm sorry. I said it.
Oh, you did.
I
Say it
said
out
it.
loud.
It's
so
making us
self-absorbed. That's the
so
biggest
self-absorbed.
difference that I
Yeah.
feel. Even my daughters were like, and I have a son, but my daughters, I mean, I was so vehement when I raised them to not have 17 magazine or any of those things. It had to be a magazine, right? Bring them into the house. And they have both said to me this last year, I've never seen you more consumed with your weight in our entire life. What the heck is going on, Mama? What
Mm.
the heck's going
Thank you
on?
for being vulnerable. That's,
Well, I have to be.
yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
they're like, we've never, like, stop talking about, your neck and how aging it when you're, because it is jarring to age, number one. But then when you go every 10 Instagram posts are now ways for me to lose weight over 60, do this to my face, this makeup for women my age, because they listens to us. Okay. I am so glad you said it out loud. It needs to be said out loud. And all that does is continue to devalue my life
Mhm.
and the quality of my life. You say right here, after you encourage us to audit our life, audit our usage, and then what restorative activities can you do offline?
Mhm. Right. I mean, again, think about our hands, right? There is a verse in Thessalonians that says, make it your ambition to live a quiet life, work with your hands, and mind your own business.
I have taught that at so many moms meetings so
I
many
mean,
years ago, and we didn't have social media, and I was teaching it. So it's like,
right.
make it your ambition to
Work
lead a
with your
quiet life.
hands. Let's say it again. Work with your
With your
hands,
hands,
live a quiet life, and mind your own business.
business, mind your own business.
Okay, that's a recipe for really good mental health.
Oh,
And Janelle, let me say, I still wrestle with this. Honestly, I'm getting ready to promote this book, and I'm
you
going
are.
to be on social media telling people about it. Like, I'm really struggling with it. I'm like, do I make my account
Yeah.
public, private? Like, it is so
Mm.
it is such a real temptation, and everyone it's so if you're experiencing that, friend, as you're listening, like, don't feel shame. Like,
Mhm.
it's a common experience. Really, almost in a
Yeah.
way, you're almost like a victim.
Oh,
Really,
well,
you know?
on purpose. I mean, we are being targeted.
Mhm.
It is all what marketing is designed and advertising is designed to do to us. But I
Right.
think that this Psalm 119:37 is at the beginning of day 6, and this chapter, it might be my favorite. Be the decorator of your life.
Mm.
And the ESV says this: turn my eyes from looking at worthless things
Mhm.
and give me life in your ways.
Before I forget, I do wanna tap into this because,
Please do.
I do wanna say, okay, not only I already said this earlier, not only is the book, like a break from social media, it is a guidebook for living a thriving, flourishing life for the glory of God.
Yeah.
It is filled with scripture. It has,
Oh,
principles for an amazing life, and it doesn't
yes.
mean it's gonna be an easy life, no, free of suffering. Is my attempt for girls and women to wake up to the miracle of their lives,
Mhm.
draw close to God, and create a beautiful life, co-create a beautiful life with God that they love. I mean, by God's grace, He has taken me from being a girl who didn't want to live anymore to being a woman who cannot wait to get out of bed. Like, that
Really?
is
Really?
Jesus for
Oh.
us. That
Oh.
is what He can do in our lives.
Oh. So, day 8, I have to ask you and talk to you about the beauty of an unseen life. Allie,
Mhm.
we once again are being fed the message that everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. Everybody thinks, well, if I just got on that show or that show, man, might increase my thing, and then I'd be an influencer. And I mean, the language.
Oh, Janelle, I am so guilty of that. Like, completely. I'm like, ugh, look at my ego. Look at my pride. It's like disgusting. I am so guilty of that, Janelle. Like, I'm not better. Like, I
Mhm.
don't want people to think like,
But you
listening.
don't struggle.
Yeah, that I'm like better than them or that I fully arrived. I'm experiencing this myself, but back to the beauty of an unseen life, in social media, I always say like there's no secrets. And,
Right.
one of my boundaries on Instagram, I try not to look at the search and explore section, which is really, really
Oh.
hard. So that's actually one of my boundaries. Of
Mm.
course, I slip all the time, or
Hmm.
not all the time, but often.
Hmm.
And I remember one day I saw a woman taking a pregnancy test live, screaming for joy when it tested positive. I
Oh.
remember seeing pictures, stage professional pictures of couples holding each other in their own bed, in their own kitchen, like embracing. A sweet young girl filming herself reading her Bible in the morning while it was still dark. A woman like doing her workout routine in her matching buttery leggings and sports bras as I ate leftover pizza. Like, there's no secrets. There's no secrets on social media. And we are fooled to think that if we're not living a life that is loud and generating a lot of attention, then our
Hmm.
lives aren't good enough.
No,
And
they
that
don't.
is, we can be fooled to think our lives are ordinary. No, our lives are extraordinary. They are a miracle.
Hmm.
You think our body has, 30 trillion cells, each with a specific task.
Hmm.
Our brain they form over 100 trillion synapses. Like, our
Hmm.
lives are not ordinary.
Oh, no, no,
They
no,
are
no, no.
so precious. They are such a
Hmm.
miracle.
Yeah,
And
they
so, this
are.
idea of what did Jesus model for us? The more that we can walk in his ways, and yes,
Mm.
it's one thing to believe in him, but to actually practice his ways and to follow his ways
Oh,
that
yeah.
lead to life and fullness of joy. What did Jesus do? He withdrew, he went to quiet places, he went to the
Mhm.
desert, he had
Mhm.
so much solitude with God the Father.
Yes.
He prayed incessantly.
Hmm.
He experienced stillness. He
Hmm.
was so present with people.
So
Okay.
present.
He was never in a hurry. The pace of
Mm-mm.
life was 3 miles an hour.
I
Now,
know.
today, it's about a 4 second scroll. Like, the pace of life is
Hmm.
like,
I love
like,
that
okay,
study.
scroll at
Yeah.
like 4 seconds. Like, that's the pace of life today. Or our
Hmm.
attention span is like 3 seconds.
Oh, and I just confessed to you, I have lived long enough to see the visceral lack of focus. I have 10 books, Deep Focus, How to Do Focus, How to Do Focus. And
Mm-hmm.
simply the focus is return to that beautiful scripture that I have been talking about forever and decades to women is to, live a quiet life. Live a quiet life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody's business is not my business. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it sure as heck is now. And we've not even added in the news and the
Yep.
political. We haven't even talked about that. So I tell you what, just for me, if I can embrace the beauty of an unseen life, balancing that with true influence,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Because it's not binary. And in this community, we hold everything in two hands. So it's like we got to live with joy. We have to have sorrow so we can live a life. With this teaching that you're giving us, it's like I need to hold the truth of God's word. And there's so many more scriptures about living a quiet life than that one. One handful is better than two. One handful of solitude and silence is better than two handfuls of strife and toil. But it's like I remember saying to the Lord, well, but I can handle two handle. I can handle two. Like, why do I have to put one behind my back? Definitely I desire to be an influencer in the most profound sense of the word,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We all do.
right? We all do. So there's no shame on the
There's
fact
no
that
shame.
I hope that your book sells 1 million copies. I
That'd be
hope
awesome.
it would be so awesome because that would mean 1 million young girls all over the world, it's in
Mhm.
different languages now, are
Mm.
hearing this message because it's a worldwide message. It's not just here in the domestic United States. And so being able, what you're really giving me a guide to do is to perhaps audit my own life. Heartlifters audit your life because really women my age spend way more than 6 hours on Facebook. That's proven.
Mm.
So, it's just scary, sobering. And as women who have a heart to seek God and be influencers in our spheres of influence for Him, we better heed.
Hmm.
I have
Yeah.
felt it to the point of feeling like if I don't obey,
Hmm.
I know we don't like to throw that word around anymore.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
going to be a consequence. There's already been a consequence in my physical body.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And again, I just want to reiterate, like, I'm there with you and
Yeah,
I'm there with
no,
every
you
girl
are.
and woman listening. I
Hmm.
have been able to overcome my social media addiction. I am able to use it mostly in a way that adds value to my life, but I am not immune to the temptation, to
No.
the desires to want to have like a blue verified check and thousands of followers. And
Yes.
in one of the chapters, I say there is a difference between being a social media influencer and being a woman of influence. And
Beautiful.
God
Thank you.
calls us to be women of influence. That is our calling. It is not to be an influencer to, tell people what to eat, how to look, what to buy,
Hmm.
but to take the hope and the love and the joy and the light of Christ to the dark
Hmm.
corners of the world
Yeah.
and to share our testimonies, our wisdom. So our heart, our ministry really is have a heart for the girls and for the young women. And I just really want to
Yeah.
encourage your amazing community of women
Hmm.
who love God. They have such pure hearts. They want to live
Hmm.
for the glory of God, to think of the girls and the women who are behind you, who are younger than you. They
Yes.
need you.
Hmm.
Don't think that you're disqualified because you're older or you don't dress as cute. Like, no, these girls need you. They need your wisdom. So I just want to encourage your community
Yeah.
listening, like, who can you mentor? Can you open your home to a group
Hmm.
like teen
Yeah.
girls, college girls, and like, maybe invite them to take the reset with you and encourage them to
Yeah.
build real life friendships. And
Real
so,
community, the real thing,
yeah,
the real deal. Yeah.
right, right. I mean, again, it goes back to the rhythms God created
Pace,
us to
rhythm.
live.
Yeah. For sure. I would love to know just before we go, you were going to tell us a few more of your boundaries and
Yes,
beautiful
yes.
things. You just gave us that beautiful one to not hit the search button, which I
Okay.
do so much on Instagram.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, so any other little tidbits that can just get us
Yeah.
started before we get your book?
Hmm. In the back of the book is a list of 15. There are
Hmm.
many more. And I encourage, I'm going to share my top four boundaries.
Okay.
Not everyone is going to want them, use them, love them. These are just ideas.
Right.
I'll add five.
Okay.
The ideal thing is you delete all the apps.
Mm,
You don't access them for a minimum of 30 days, if not longer.
okay.
And then if you are ready to explore having a healthier relationship with social media, the next step, which, okay, this is my number one trick. And, I feel like I can kind of make a lot of money off this trick, but,
Yes.
um,
I hope you do.
but not as far as I know, I haven't met many people that do it, right? And so my strategy is and I do this, I have not, is I don't have any social media apps on my phone. So
Wow.
I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, I don't have Twitter, I don't have any of those apps on my phone because I know I was addicted. It's designed to be addictive, right? And so it's like a handheld slot machine. We get a high hit of dopamine
Oh,
every
yes.
single time we get a like notification. So
Mhm.
I, for your community to consider, if you want to have it, it can be used for so much good. It can make your life better. Maybe
Mhm.
try once you take your detox, your reset, try taking all the apps off, but putting them on a tablet. Like,
Mm.
so, if you have an iPad, you
Mhm.
can download the app, you can access all your entire account. You can share photos, if it
Yeah.
syncs to the cloud, you can share updates. But that way you're not going to be like carrying your iPad around all day.
You don't carry that around, but you do carry your phone around all day. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that's my number one boundary. So
Okay.
that's how I overcame my addiction is I just deleted the apps. And what does that
Wow.
take? Like half a second. And
Wow.
then you overcame your addiction, right?
Yes.
And
Did you experience some detox symptoms? Like,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I talk about
Good to know.
that
Okay.
withdrawal. You get like,
Withdrawal.
yeah, just like,
Hmm.
uncomfortable,
Hmm.
irritability. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a drug, really.
Hmm.
So then after that is, of course, you can set time limits. Mine, even
Hmm.
if I use mine on my iPad, my time limit is 20 minutes a day. And then in addition, you can buffer your mornings. I mean, this is self-discipline. God has given us a spirit of
Oh,
discipline,
he
okay?
really, and yes, and that results with that sound mind, which you
In
talked
sound
about.
mind. Yeah.
Yes.
He has made us to be disciplined, right?
Hmm.
So not touching it maybe for like an hour until after your quiet time in the morning and
Yeah.
at least an hour before bed. And even that
Hmm.
comes into the blue light and what it does to your brain. So
Sure.
yeah,
Yep.
taking a reset, healing your brain, detoxing, breaking the addiction, putting the apps like on an iPad or just
Mhm.
accessing it from your computer, not your phone.
Yep. Like
Um,
that. Like the timer.
Daily
Hmm.
time limits. And then what I do is I never go on it unless I'm posting something inspiring that's
Hmm.
like, I enjoy, that's like a quote or something's going to share someone.
Hmm.
I never post on the weekends. So I never go on it on the weekends. And
That's good.
so those are my main boundaries. That's what I do. And that
Okay.
helps me. But everyone, you can pick your own boundaries and what
Sure.
works for you. And those are there's 15 ideas. But that's my recommended 4 to 5.
Okay, that's good. It's very helpful and it gives a very good platform to begin with. Easing into it. Sometimes you need to cold turkey. It's like you said, addiction's addiction. So we can apply
Mhm.
addictive principles to this. And definitely, I always like to say, I don't take something away. I have a Lenten study. It's about more or less. It's not taking something away without replacing it with a virtue. So whatever. I just sat the other day. I literally bought 2.5 years ago to do a dream board, a vision board, a heart board with one of my online college classes I teach. Never have I done it, ever. It has been sitting in that little corner. And the other day, after the spout with the flu, when I still wasn't completely well, I thought, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm putting everything away on my phone, everything. And I just decoupage like in the old days, cut out of magazines
Mhm.
and created this beautiful. So I feel like I'm on my way and that can
I
encourage
love it.
someone,
Mhm.
just do the dang thing, do it, get
Mhm.
started, make a movement towards it. But
Mhm.
thank you so much, Allie, for being
Yeah.
such a willing vessel.
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for your life and for all that God has done in your life to bring you to us today.
Thank you. And I just want to encourage your listeners. You are a living, breathing miracle. Like you are loved beyond measure. You are fearfully, lovingly, wonderfully made. God chose you before the foundations of the world. He didn't have to create you. Your life is so precious.
Yeah.
No one can live your life for you but you. You can leave such a beautiful legacy and you can do hard things and we don't have to conform. I always say like we don't have to conform to the social media circus. And God invites us into a more like unpopular way, but a better
Mm-hmm.
way of life. And then it's okay
Yeah.
if I like close, I just share the invitation,
Allie,
the formal invitation again about,
please.
okay. So if you go to my website, again, I don't write books to, to make money. Like,
Well, but let's
I
let's
mean, it would be
reframe
nice.
that.
Yeah.
You do write books because you have a nonprofit, and we do
Right.
want to fund that nonprofit so that you can build a team and
Yes.
pay people what they're worth. And I just love that. I love that, we do write to affect people's lives. And would I love to see your book in India and Thailand? I've been to Thailand on the front lines. I know that there are so many young women that need this work. So, okay, sorry, just a little
Yes.
course correction.
No, thank you. So, this is a beautiful invitation. I know I referenced it earlier. I just really want to invite you and your amazing community, women of all ages who listen. You can go to my website, just my name, alliemariesmith.com. Under the book page, there's a whole book page about the book. And I'm calling it the Unplugged and Flourishing Movement.
Love it.
So it is a 30-day experience. So the book comes out July 15th. And then for the month of August, my hope is to join hundreds, if not thousands of women together at a simultaneous reset. Go back to God, reclaim our joy, have meals together, cultivate real community, increase our mental health. And here's the thing. I want to see us, hundreds, thousands, women of faith, as we fast from social media, to pray for our younger girls, for teen girls and young women. Today, girls are spending over 9 hours a day on social media. They're living through their lives on their phone. And today, 1 in 3 teen girls seriously contemplates attempting suicide. There's been over like 151% increase in suicide attempts. And it is our responsibility as women of faith to pray for these girls. And I haven't seen a movement like that, a global movement among women of faith to do that. And this is our time.
It is our time.
We have to reach these girls. We have to give them the hope of Christ. And when we fast, God hears our prayers and he does a mighty work. We see what the effects of fasting does in the spiritual realm. So my hope is hundreds, thousands of women of faith going off together, all ages, getting their lives back, getting their joy back, and fasting from it to pray for healing for girls and women whose lives really are being destroyed by this. They really are.
Literally.
There's no way to say it.
Yeah, no, it's happening.
So you can go on my website, you can join the movement. I'm also doing a course. You can get 50% off the teaching course that goes with the book. Okay. There's giveaways.
Lots of pre-order fun things. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and then I do 3 coaching calls for the month of August. So you can join on those. So it's kind of like community talks, coaching calls. So, and you can share it with all the women, your friends.
I'm already going to be doing that. As we say in Uruguay, they'll go, I'm already doing it. So already doing it in my mind and figuring out how I can assist you and support you in that and how our community can support you. So we're with you 100%. We will be praying for you as well as so that you can sustain health and your mental and emotional health too throughout this book launching and movement launching.
Thank you. And just thank you for the way you pour into the women you serve. I know each one of them listening has been very blessed by you and your faithfulness and the way you selflessly serve and encourage them. And it's just such an honor to meet you and to be a guest. So thank you.
So happy to have you. Thank you.